Greetings everyone. As we continue our way through toy reviews here, we're going to be looking at a Lost World figure today by Kenner from 1997. It's the Triceratops. Walmart, $5.76. If I could go back and buy this figure for that much, I would definitely do so. Proof of purchase here on the card. Other figures, most of which we've already taken a look at, and some that we still will be taking a look at. Here's the Triceratops Trike with capture gear. Nice that all the old Kenner figures like that had diorama set background things, but yes, enough of the card. Alright, but here's the figure itself. Quite tiny compared to the other Triceratops we got from Series 1 Kenner, or from the first Jurassic Park movie, I mean. This being the only one we got from the Lost World. I mean, there was that other one that was planned, but was eventually cancelled, rumors being that the horns were too sharp and they didn't want kids poking their eyes out, but I don't know, I feel like that was just an excuse. Because I feel like if they really wanted to for the Lost World Triceratops, they could have like dumbed the horns down a little bit like the Series 1, like this one. And I feel like they could have made it work, so it's a damn shame that the Lost World Triceratops, the bigger one with the dino damage cap, never was released. Very depressing. That would have been a really, really awesome figure. But instead we get this smaller version of a Triceratops. It's not labeled as a juvenile or young Triceratops, but I like to think it is, just because the sheer size difference between these two. I mean, here's your human Kenner figure right there, so I like to think the Lost World one right there is the young or juvenile one. But a considerable amount of detail, taking into account this is from 1997. This figure would be repainted again for the Jurassic Park Dinosaurs line. But I really like the Lost World colors, being that it's green, or it's got different shades of green, being the really creamy underbottom with the dark army green, and then this really, really almost darky forest green on top. So it's like just a mix of greens. The greens really mix well on this figure is what I'm trying to get at. His eyes, not really much detail in the mouth. It's kind of plain inside, you can only really see the tongue, but the beak on it, it's really good looking. Not really much poseability, the legs can't really move all too much. Same with that one, so best just to kind of leave them like that so the figure can stand, even with this back one. JP.44 Site B, it's a little bit rubbed off, kind of on mine almost. But the action feature that this guy had was, as always, with the leg with the tag on it right here, you would pull this leg back and his head would kind of like ram forward, up and down kind of ish, like so. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So an alright attack feature, considering this being a really cheaper figure at the time back in the day to pick up, instead of buying one of the huge figures. But he comes with two pieces of capture gear that break in half. This then just goes right back in together like so. And it's good. Overall, in my opinion, this capture gear for this figure was pretty, not terrible, but it was more on the lamer side, being that his two horns kind of just go in there, and then his other horn kind of just rests up in this one. So it's not really like this is restraining the figure, it's kind of just resting on the figure's head until you go to do the action, which is so. And he would like break out of the capture gear. I mean, it was a pretty lame feature, but it's not terrible. So, as always, if you don't really care about the capture gear for this guy, don't really stress out about it. It's nothing really to rave about. So, while Triceratops didn't appear in the Lost World film for too long, this is a really cool figure to have from the toy line, being if you weren't fortunate enough to get the original Series 1 Trike right here. Go check out the review for this figure if you want to. But yeah, so this was a nice trike to have for anyone that missed out from Series 1. He's not extremely rare. He runs, even with capture gear, you can probably find this figure for around $10. without the capture gear, you're probably looking under $10. So that's up to you whether you want the capture gear or not. So considering this figure isn't really that rare and or expensive to add into our collection if you really want him or you don't have him, he's definitely deemed worth a look. I rate him around a 2.9 or just hitting a 3 out of 5. It's an alright trike, being that it was one of the smaller figures you could buy, saving some money back in the day, but just go with the original. If I must say, just go with the original Kenner Jurassic Park Series 1 Triceratops from the first movie line. It was a far superior Triceratops figure, but give this guy a look if you are interested. He's pretty cool considering he's really cheap too, so he should not be really hard to find if you don't have him. As always, if you have this figure or if you enjoyed this review, thumbs up the video. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for another Jurassic Park review. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.